Johnny, are you a cocktail or a beer man?
As I've gotten older, I've become more of a cocktail drinker.
I think that's fair.
Uh, yeah, I will usually an old fashioned is my
Hmm.
standby.
Okay.
Not every place can make a white Russian for you. I found so.
Hell of
Uh,
a Caucasian there, Jackie boy.
that's right. What about you? I do still love beer. I just don't
Yeah.
drink it in nearly the same
Uh,
quantities as I used to.
I think a beer is a good standby. The beers that I drink are typically very, very, very heavy and high in alcohol content. I can't remember the last time I'm like I want to go pound some beers. Like that doesn't really happen
That's
anymore.
no. There's
Um,
other things that I I enjoy
yeah,
consuming.
yeah. I mean, like I've
More
definitely
than more than that. Yeah. Now if
I
I have a drink, it's like I'm gonna have this drink because I want to enjoy this drink, not let's get fucking wasted.
I have found a secret. Like if you're not just drinking like whiskey neat or anything like that, but if you want like a cocktail, I have found that doing bulk, it's like I get all my ingredients and I've got a couple extra bottles around the house and I'll just make like a bulk.
Hey, do you like meal prep but for drinks?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Uh,
that's not a bad idea. That's not the worst idea I've ever
it's
heard.
not, no, like just making like a batch cocktail. That way it's ready to go. It's bottled up. If I want to have it, outside of maybe like garnish, I can just put it over ice and I'm good to go. And it's been I do that a lot with a Negroni. Like I make bulk Negronis all the time.
You have made me several Negronis.
It is one of the best cocktails in my opinion. Johnny, it's
Yeah.
been a long time since the two of us have been together. This is episode 344. Today is September 20th. This is the second podcast that you and I have recorded this week. We recorded with our other co-host Chase last night. He has taken tonight off. I mean, mine as well, since you took so many yourself.
You know.
And you and
Chase earned
I
it.
now the reason why are you doing two episodes in one week? Well, it's very simple. We're not going to be
Why
live.
why, Bobby?
Why? We're not going to be live next week until Friday. I'm going to be traveling. So this episode, if you're listening to it, we hope the future has been good to you. And we are going to post. So if you're watching this, that's awesome. You're getting a sneak peek. But this will go into the lineup of shows that we have next Friday. So we recorded a deep dive yesterday with Chase, which was a ton of fun. Tonight is what you've been playing. We've got a lot to get through, a couple games to go into. I think we're going to talk pretty loose and pretty open at the same time about Starfield. We've spent a lot of time with it. You haven't had a chance to talk about it on the show. I think we've both have changed our opinion on that game quite a bit. So we're going to get into that. But we got some big hitting news to talk through. We've got an update on the whole Unity debacle. We're going to talk a little bit about Nexus mods and Starfield. We got to talk about Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch. And most importantly, there was a monumental leak with Xbox that we're going to be discussing too. So
Man.
yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot tonight to unpack. But we're gonna get right into it. We don't have time in this wonderful casual hour to bullshit. Johnny, what have you been playing with all this time that you have, or you haven't been around here?
Oh man. Mainly Baldur's Gate 3 since I'm home from vacation. But while I was on vacation, I took my son's Xbox Series S
Hang
with
on a
me.
second.
Yeah.
You're talking like a robot right now.
Am I?
Yeah.
It's not good.
No. Let's do a quick internet check here, folks. You are very choppy.
Isn't there? Is there some setting in voice and audio for latency or something?
It doesn't necessarily seem like latency to me, but could be.
Because the internet, like normal internet, is fine. So, do you want me to leave the call and come back? Maybe quit Discord?
Yeah, try that really quick. I'll talk to everybody while we wait on you.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Cameras are going to get messed up. Now I'm Johnny. Apologies on that, everybody. So yeah, we're going to get into Starfield. I have had some strong opinions post credits on that game. Here he comes. Keep talking.
Is that any better?
You're very fragmented, but I can hear you at least. Well, we'll run with it. Let's see what we can get into. Let's talk about.
Okay.
You've been playing Baldur's Gate mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay.
Which is one of the best video games I have ever played. And a couple weeks ago, I took a long trip. I was gone for 10 days, and I decided I was going to take an Xbox with me, my son's Xbox to be specific, because I only have an Xbox One. He's got the newer one. And I was like, I'm going to use this to play Starfield while we're on vacation. And it was, I think Starfield was the perfect game to play at the end of the day when I was kind of sleepy and I didn't want to pay too close attention to what was going on, and I just wanted to play a game and unwind and zone out for a bit before I went to bed. And I will say I've put about 22 hours into it. I think I'm a good ways through the story. And I think I should preface everything you and I are probably going to say. Like, I don't think Starfield is a bad game. I just don't think it is as good as I was hoping it would be. And because there have been so many other absolutely incredible, like, this is one of the best things ever made games that have come out this year already, it really lays bare all of the negative things that Starfield does. And also, I just kind of wonder if I'm just kind of over the kind of game that they put out, because I felt kind of the same way about Fallout 4, and you really liked Fallout 4, so I know you and I differ on that, but like, it just, something about it just didn't. I had fun. I had a lot of fun at first, and then the more I played it, and the more I got annoyed by encumbrance and like how you really are just fast traveling from place to place. There's no real compulsion for me to, when I land on a planet, go like exploring outside of the few like points of interest that it puts down for you. And even those, like, it takes so long to go from walk out your ship, walk to the point of interest, and it's another robot facility, and the enemies are laid out basically the same, and you're finding the same items, and then, oh, what's that over here? Oh, it's a cave. And like, it's, someone said it reminded them of Oblivion, and I think they're right, because it kind of does the same thing that Oblivion did with a lot of its dungeons, where they were just like copied and pasted, and there was stuff to go do in the world, but it wasn't, it all kind of felt the same and all blended together eventually. And I don't know how you're feeling. Like, I think we're on a similar wavelength there. You've actually finished the game, right? You hit credits.
Yeah, I hit credits on it. I did not see everything Starfield had to offer. There was just too much happening on the internet around, you need to just mainline this game, get to New Game Plus. They made it sound like the greatest thing ever. So I got through all the faction quest lines, and then I was just like, all right, that's good enough for me. I'm going to get to the New Game Plus, and then I'm going to play the real game. And the more I have, I mean, I've wrestled with the mechanics of Starfield far more than any other Bethesda game. And I think it's a very, very poorly designed game from a quality of life standpoint. And let me elaborate on that. You and I, and maybe a lot of our listeners or people watching right now, or even currently listening, are from an era when we had to have multiple devices to accomplish one task. Like, it was not uncommon for me in the early 2000s to leave with some sort of camera, some sort of media device to listen to music, a phone, batteries,
got your camera, got your iPod,
video game,
your phone,
all those things. And you could be fine. You could have all that stuff with you, and if you wanted to bounce between it, you could make it work, and you could have a pretty good time with it, and it was fine. Nowadays, we have phones that can be all those things very easily, and our quality of life has been vastly improved by the streamlining of all the things that we enjoy. And Bethesda is still making the same game. Like this is there's nothing really different to me like from the loop than some of their other games, and it
Yeah,
feels
and
old. It feels
yeah,
old.
it feels old in a lot of ways. Um, I don't think that I think that a lot of the writing isn't really great,
No.
and like your companions that you get, they're all like they all feel very bland. Um,
Starfield
there's
spends most of its time reminding you that it's a video game.
yeah, um, and I think I think that there is a lot there to enjoy in Starfield if you just like get that other stuff out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I think obviously like 10 million people have played it. Like it's a very
Yeah.
popular game. It's gonna have legs for a long time. Like it's gonna be another Bethesda game, but uh like it doesn't feel like as much of an event as say
I
Fallout or Skyrim did.
I
Um
I think that
and
I just haven't had fun with some of it.
yeah, like the I got encumbered so quickly. I think within the
It's
first like
unreal.
hour,
Unreal how fast that happens.
and I like that is I it's a mechanic I hate in any game, but like uh Baldur's Gate has it. I've never gotten encumbered in that game.
I have a few
Uh
times, but I don't know, man. Like what I want to say on that really quick if I could is I feel really fucked over when I open up a skill tree the size of the
mhm.
one that is in this game. And the very first thing that I have to go and start to dump points into is weightlifting to make it to where I
Yeah.
can carry more shit when there's a whole new mechanic that they have in Starfield that hasn't been in their other games, which is all around their ship building, ship
Yeah.
flying, ship combat. And I have to go and dump bullshit and to make sure that I can carry stuff back. Like it's so cumbersome to fucking fumble around with. If you want to go into your map and you have to zoom in and out so much, and
Yeah.
you have to then like what doesn't make any sense to me. I could be off my ship on a planet where my ship is docked, and I can open the map and I can go somewhere and say take me there, and it will. I can go into my ship and my ship can be docked. I can sit down at the pilot seat and open the map to figure out where I'm going, and it's gonna be like, oh, you can't go anywhere until you undock your ship. What the
E-
like?
Yeah.
Why do I have to do that right now when I can literally undock and take off from anywhere? Not to
Yeah.
mention, when I tell you on the map I want to go to this planet to this landing spot, and you take me there, but then you stop in front of the planet and make me open the map again or open up my scanner and then choose to land on that after I've told you I want to go here. That
Mhm.
makes no sense. And then you land and you have, okay, I want to get out of my ship. I want to do that. Like, you should just get up. Like, you should just get up. There's so much time spent loading,
Yeah.
waiting, and going through your menus.
It's and it's like the despite there being hundreds of planets or whatever, like it feels like the smallest game they've ever
Oh,
made because I'm only walking short distances and then fast traveling wherever the next place I need to go. So like part of what I love so much about Skyrim and Fallout 3 was like the things that would happen while I was on my way to my next
mm-hmm.
adventure. And there is like when you load into a planet, like you might have a random encounter with an NPC or space pirates or something. But I don't know, like the fun kind of
Dude.
stopped being there as much for me. Uh, like
Yeah.
towards the very tail end. And then what really did it is when I came home because I was really high on it for the first week or
Yeah.
so. I
Oh,
was like,
yeah. You were taught. You were.
this is a lot of fun. And then I came home and then I played Baldur's Gate again, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to play Starfield anymore.
No.
I've uninstalled it from my computer at this point because like Liza P is out, the
Mm-hmm.
Cyberpunk DLC is coming out, and I think if this was like a dry season, so to speak, for games. Like if there wasn't if there weren't all of these other amazing things available to me or about to come out, I would probably be playing a lot more Starfield. And I do have a couple of friends that are like way into it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just I don't know. I think it's one of those things that I think it might be like a me thing in a way, you know, because like I did have a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and maybe that just hasn't gone away for those people yet. Because my cousin Jared keeps sending me like ship builds and stuff, and he's also like a huge like he loves all those other Bethesda games, and
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if like Fallout 3 and Skyrim were my Bethesda games and Oblivion.
I mean,
Uh, but I've kind of like I've played as much of this type of shit as I need to play.
I
Um,
say what you
type of
will.
deal. You get what I mean? Because like you know, it is it's like a sci-fi
Absolutely.
setting and stuff. But like, if I'm
Dude,
gonna play a space exploration game where I'm like mining and like you know getting new ships and shit, I'm gonna play No Man's Sky. I think.
yeah,
Um,
I think that's that the Sky it is more Skyrim than it is No Man's Sky.
yeah,
And I think that they really tried to show new things. I remember because everybody's like, well, that's just No Man's Skyrim at this point in time.
yeah, and
There,
like I think the shooting feels good.
yeah, it's fine.
Um, like I think it's probably the best like combat wise, best feeling combat that they've
Yeah, I
ever
would agree.
had in one of their games. Um, and so I don't know. I feel bad just like dunking on it this whole time because, like I
No,
said, I don't think it's a bad
you
game.
sung its praise. I mean, I've sung his praises a
I think
lot.
it's a very strong 7. Like I think
Yeah,
it's just I think, but there's that duel in your head that goes, but wait, this is from the people that made Bethesda, and so my expectations, like even though I had no expectations for this game really leading into it, but like you know I don't I don't know.
I mean, I think this might be kind of different to call up, but I feel if you're looking for a game that's in space that has the Bethesda style to it, it came out a few years ago. I think the Outer Worlds. If you're looking for just a
Hmm.
pure sci-fi Bethesda,
That game had better writing.
I think that game had far better writing, and I think the shooting feels fine in that game too. You are going through space. I mean, it's not you're not picking galaxies like you were in this, but I think the Outer Worlds is a far more enjoyable one of these. And the other thing that we'll be talking about when we record the show again in a couple weeks, but I think here in about 24 hours, people are going to be leaving Starfield for Night City in
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
ways.
Well,
So
that is just the 2.0 update, and then the actual DLC comes out 5 days later.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, I
but
think that's going to get people are probably going
I'm
to jump.
chomping at the bit, man. I made my new character before we started doing the podcast. Yeah. So Starfield,
I finished it.
I
I don't think you're missing out on
yeah,
much right now.
a perfectly cromulent video game. If you have Game
Yeah,
Pass, check it out. Um, I think if you buy it on Steam, you will be able to tell well within the first 2 hours whether or not this is a thing you want to
yeah.
spend sixty
You get
dollars
into
on,
it.
$70, whatever it is. Um, and yeah, I enjoyed my time with it. I don't know where it will end
Yeah,
up on my list come into the year. There's a lot of really great stuff that I feel much more passionately about that has come out already,
yeah.
and I assume will come out. We still got Spider-Man.
You got
We're getting a new
Assassin's Creed.
Mario game. Yeah.
That new Assassin's
Um,
Creed's getting some pretty good buzz right now too,
yeah. So I got Space Marine 2.
and a lot of really fucking cool indie games also.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, video
Yeah,
games. This is I
good
think
time.
maybe in another year, this would be like. Remember how in 2014, Shadow of Mordor won
Yep,
a bunch of, and then like that seems. But then you look at what else came out that year. I think if like Starfield came out in 2014.
it would have felt like it was more cutting edge. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
probably. Uh, well, yeah, I get that, man. So I've been playing some shit too. I actually beat Baldur's Gate 3. I'm gonna
Yeah,
bring that game back up really quick. Uh, I
Car Like Bus Girl.
that is one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. I fell in love with that game, and I fell in love with those characters. I mean, today you could probably toss a coin and ask me if I liked my crew in the Normandy or if I liked my crew on in Baldur's Gate more. And I just I cannot stop thinking about. I feel like I told the perfect story. Like I crafted a story I'm so satisfied with,
Yep.
and I got to. I feel like I wrote my own fantasy, and that
Yeah.
feels fucking awesome. Like I feel like I just wrote a fantasy that I got to narrate, dictate, play through, and experience and be surprised by. And I fell in love with it. I just absolutely fell in love with it. We'll talk obviously a lot about that game. We have played, and we're going to be playing it on our streams. But I fucking loved that game. And something else that I've been checking out, Johnny, that just came out that I think is really fucking slick is a game called Gunbrella. Let me pull up some
Yeah, I've
information on
been
that really.
seeing you playing this the last couple nights, and I wanted to know what it's about.
Yep. So Gunbrella, it just came out, published by Devolver Digital. It's $15, and it is made by Doinksoft. Have you ever heard of a game called Gato Roboto? It's a little black and white.
Yes.
Same
Mhm.
developer.
Oh, okay.
Same
I
developer.
think I think I might have played that. Or did Chase talk about that game? It feels like a Chase game.
Chase
Or did
did
you
talk
talk
about
about
it.
it?
Chase did.
Okay.
This is a game that I've seen people compare to Celeste. And while I think that's more on the fluidity of movement, this is a
Uh-huh.
side scrolling 2D uh, kind of a grindhouse game. It's got a ton of style to it, and you have an umbrella that's a gun that you can upgrade, but you can
Okay.
also use this umbrella to traverse. And so the way that you could like dive and jump and glide around in Celeste, you can do those same movements with this gun. And there's
Okay.
a really cool story, actually, like choices matter stuff happening where you might find an item on a quest that two very differing parties both are requesting, and there's consequences on who you give it to and who you don't give it to. It has that snappiness to it when you're shooting it. So, like, you have a shotgun that is infinite ammo, but you can upgrade your gun and your ammo that you put into it. The writing has been really well done. The color palette and the styles that they're using and just bouncing around. I think if you see it in action, you'll get the Celeste reference with it.
Oh yeah, I'm playing the trailer on the Steam
Okay.
page right now, and it's a mood.
Yeah,
It's got
dude.
some like Meat Boy vibes to it a little
Yep.
bit.
Yep. It's got a lot of things that it pulls from, and it feels incredible. I've been playing this on handheld, and it's a goddamn dream that way. I plan on playing a lot of this when I'm traveling next week. But Gunbrella so far has surprised the hell out of me. Chase and I actually checked this out on a Next Fest stream we did on Casual Mondays. And the synopsis here is like to uncover the dark secrets of a gritty, tangled metropolis and battle diabolic villains with your trusty Gunbrella, a bulletproof brawly that doubles as a firearm. The other thing that's really cool about that is that you can parry with it. So
Mhm.
as enemies shoot, if you open your umbrella as a shield at the right time, it will reflect back onto the enemy. And it does some really cool shit, man. I think it's got a really good film grain over pixel, which looks neat. And they've got some good shadow and lighting effects that happen.
Mhm.
But a game like this is made, it lives and dies by the way it feels. Like there's a tangibility to it, a responsiveness to it, and all the guns have a good chunk to them. Like when you're shooting things, you feel it in the game, which is great. I can't say enough good things about the style and feel of Gunbrella. It's fucking awesome.
Okay, well you've convinced me. I'm gonna have to check it out. Do you have Rihanna's song "Umbrella" playing in your
Under my
head?
Umbrella,
Uh-huh.
yeah, all the time,
Okay. All
all
right.
the
Cool.
time. I don't know if it's still the case. I mentioned the developer earlier, Doinksoft, having a Gato Roboto with this as well. If you bought it on Steam, you got both
Mhm.
of those games.
Oh,
So
cool.
they bundled in those games together, they don't even advertise it that way. I just like when I downloaded it, I saw it was in my library. I'm like, oh shit, okay, and that worked out really really well. So I've checked
Right
out a
on,
few other
man.
things. What's that?
I said right on.
Yeah. I've got some stuff queued up for this trip. I'm looking forward to giving some hot takes on in a few weeks. But for the time being, it's mostly been those two things. I talked about Chance of Sonar yesterday, so you can hear that on last episode. And that's what I've been up to.
Are you going to test Cyberpunk out on the Ally?
I already have. Not with this update. I was getting very good performance on the Ally with that.
It runs like I think it runs pretty well on the Steam Deck as well. Pretty cool that you can play Cyberpunk on a handheld.
Yeah, I will be playing that. This is not like a brag, but I have a very competent 4090, and I've been chomping at the bit. I've been chopping at the bit to check out their update.
The lowly 3080 Ti peasant over here.
Well, they've got that really cool new
the cool kid on the block.
Well, maybe that 3080 will fix your fucking internet. Goddamn Johnny Silverhands is what you sound like right now. I feel like I'm glitching out in Cyberpunk.
Johnny Dial Up.
Johnny Dial Up. There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out on my computer, and I'll probably I beat that game again last year. I'm probably gonna roll a new character after talking to you about it. Johnny, while you were out, just because your internet's a little shitty right now, I'm just gonna run through the news and let you comment in. Unity, I don't know if you were following along with all the bullshit that happened with that.
Oh yeah, very closely.
So Chase and I 2 episodes ago, we talked a bit about the updates that were being proposed to charge per installs, and a lot of developers took to Twitter to express a much validated fuck you to Unity. But Unity has since they've heard the feedback, Johnny, and they're sorry.
Can you recall like a larger fuck up than this in recent times with games? Like,
I mean, this is a pretty big one considering how much Unity is installed.
Like, Terraria came out and said, "Fuck you." Like,
I know
Terraria. That game is massive.
Yeah.
I think it's been really cool to see all of these indie devs who've used Unity to make their games like use the much louder voice that they have to stand up for, people who make very, very small games using that Unity engine, and like the bar graphs and stuff that people had extrapolated to show like, hey, this is like, they would take more than what we made off. Like, how did this, like, are they just, is the CEO just have that much fucking hubris that?
Well, it's the same guy that said that people should be charging to reload their guns. He's ex-EA. The whole thing here, like, not to bury the lead too much, they wrote, "We have heard you. We apologize for the confusion and angst the runtime fee policy we announced on Tuesday caused. We are listening, talking to our team members, community, customers, and partners, and we'll be making changes to the policy. We will share an update in the future." So it's a non-committal answer. They're still going to try and charge people more money, and a lot of developers have made it.
See how far they can walk it back.
Yeah.
And what people will tolerate. But I don't know, man. Like, this has been so egregious, and it's still like every day it seems like someone new is coming out. Like,
they're not going to stick around.
This hasn't just left, like, at least the spheres that we interact with online. Like, it's this ain't going away. You have destroyed the trust there, like, forever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, it's been crazy to see, but like, also, do those people get humbled at all? Like that guy's just gonna go on to another CEO job somewhere else. Like,
yeah, I don't know, man. I think Unity, it's gaming. When there's a universal panning of something in gaming, people tend to like not recover too much because there's always going to be like splits on how people look and feel. But when
Yeah.
there's a universal, like not only from like the development, but the community too, it's like, yo, fuck right off. And to your point, like there's already been plenty of the announcements from developers that I've seen where they said we've been looking for a reason. We've lost faith long ago. This isn't anything new. And they've said we're either scrapping projects, which really fucking sucks,
Hmm.
and teaching
Or
ourselves or
there's, I think, was it the people that made Slay the Spire? Didn't they
yeah.
say they're moving engines
Yep.
like
Yep.
entirely,
Yep.
which is going to delay their next game for who knows how long? But like, also,
You got to
damn,
you got to do what you got to do.
that game sold a lot of copies.
I know.
So
I know. Speaking of more bullshit from a very online presence, as we discussed, Johnny, while you were out when Jiggy was filling in, we talked about the initial fuck yous that we had to say to folks who were upset that they included pronouns in Starfield. And somebody on Nexus Mods decided that they were going to make a mod that removed the pronoun functionality altogether. And Nexus Mods pushes back and they say, hey, we ain't here for that bullshit. We're open. And that is not allowed. And they just straight up said that mod is banned. And that caused quite a divisive response, as you can imagine.
Why do people put so much energy into that?
You know, I've heard the response, like if I were to say to you it's a non-issue, and then the response I've seen is, well, if it's a non-issue, why include it at all? And while I think that
Fuck off.
when I say it's a non-issue,
Yeah.
here's what I mean. I look at it, I'm very okay with it, and I move on and I play the fucking video game. That's what I mean when I say it's a non-issue.
Like,
I know it's an issue to like fight for.
it's not affecting me at all.
No.
I don't know.
I don't care, dude. I think people are fucking weak, and what I love about it,
people just like to get upset.
Well, I think it's important for people to know when they are paying people directly. So there's been a lot of shit with streamers lately that get directly paid by people that they entertain. That is like they're sharing it with Twitch or YouTube, but I can choose to pay them.
Rumble.
And people should be informed on what they're supporting. Like, you have a platform, you need to be able to be uniquely you, I suppose. But I also think that I wouldn't want people not to feel comfortable viewing or listening to us if they didn't agree with us. You know, it's anyway. Fuck you if you don't think that is. Fuck you if you think this is a big deal. Like, and you should just be happy people are playing games. That's what I'll say. Unless Johnny, the game that you choose to play is the Chase Kinnicky darling Nintendo Switch version of fucking Mortal Kombat 1. This
shit. Oh man, this is gonna go on sale for like $10, and I will buy it.
I didn't put it in our show note, but apparently Ed Boon has come out to address this.
Yeah. Were you not aware, Ed?
Basically saying that they're going to fix it.
You run the fucking company, bro.
And here's the thing, dude. I don't think this falls completely on them.
He works for WB.
He does.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's not NetherRealms that made this version of the game, right? Like it's some other studio, I assume, that they pawned it off to. That's usually how these things work. Like, I think,
dude.
But
do you remember?
Bad.
I don't know what year it was. I think it's less than 10 years ago. The woman who was trying to clean the Jesus painting and fucked it up, and then she just tried to fix it. Every time I see the side by sides, I just think about the potato Jesus, like that the one where Johnny Cage has the glasses and he's just doing whatever that was. Like, I can't look at that and not just fucking chortle. It's so bad. I know that the game. I can't believe that it's running on the Switch to begin with. And that's the thing that I've heard is it actually does pretty good when it runs. It just looks bad.
A storied history of shitty versions of Mortal Kombat being on the Nintendo console. So, yeah,
it's wild.
It's man, I'm probably gonna buy that game, but definitely not for the Switch. I will probably get it.
And look, like I know that there's been leaks about the next Switch, and people have been saying that it's running equal to the PS4, which that's cool.
Yeah,
but this ain't it now, baby. I'll tell you that much.
No.
Like, yeah.
I had no idea there was even going to be a Switch version. I just assumed this is like.
I thought it was I thought it was current gen, I should say, not this. And the Switch. I mean, the Switch was more on par with the generation prior. It wasn't even
it's like a goddamn 360.
Anyway, that's if you haven't seen it, go look at those pictures. They're very silly. Maybe I'll do something with the album art for this episode. All right, Johnny, we have. I don't know how much I want to talk about this because, I mean, I think we have to.
I mean, it's 38 terabytes. How much are we really going to be able to get through? You know,
we're referencing what I feel is arguably the biggest leak I've ever seen when it comes to game. I mean, this is massive.
Yeah, dude. As far as like self-inflicted, because this was Microsoft that did this. Like, this is.
I thought Phil's already said it wasn't. I thought this came from the FTC stuff.
Someone at Microsoft was sharing it.
Okay, and that's what
to
happened.
The court or something, I think.
Yeah.
And I assume for like discovery purposes, they have to share what they know. Anyway, like, yeah, it was a fuck up.
It was a major fuck up.
They put it on a public facing website.
Dude, they have so much details in here. They've got not only stuff about the future, but they don't have anything from Xbox Game Studios. It looks like any of the game stuff is only around Bethesda, but there's some pretty delicate emails that came out. There is very detailed updates on the next Xbox Series X, when that's coming out, when they're going to have their next generation come out, a handheld, like all kinds of crazy shit that Phil,
a trash can shaped Series X without a disk drive.
Yep. Phil took to Twitter last night, and he posted, "We've seen the conversation around old emails and documents. It's hard to see our team's work shared in this way because so much has changed and there's so much to be excited about right now and in the future. We will share the real plans when we are ready." And that feels very reminiscent of how Rockstar addressed how they didn't want to show off Grand Theft. Because like you can't deny it. That was Grand Theft Auto.
What company wants this kind of shit out there for public eyeballs? Like, this is a huge fuck up for Microsoft. Like, this, like, people are going to be pouring through this for months, years. Like, there'll probably be books written about like what they found in these leaked documents.
It's intense, dude.
Yeah, like but it's also, it makes for a really fun news day because things like this happen so infrequently that, like, to get a glimpse at like what these people are really like when they're communicating just between one another is always fascinating.
The controller design is very interesting. So they've got a new controller that's going to be Wi-Fi connected, fully haptic. Yeah. They also have on top of an actual like handheld in the works. From what this looks like, they've got a mobile attachment. They talked a lot about the new Xbox that Johnny mentioned. There is a all digital Series X that has some pretty impressive specs on it. It certainly feels more like a Pro model than it does a brand new Xbox.
Like it's not like a new GPU or anything like that.
No, it sounds like
a slim version of what they would do. You know, man, I keep toying with the idea of getting an Xbox Series X to have downstairs to play Game Pass games.
if they had like I know that they had scrapped, like Phil came out and said that they scrapped it because they couldn't get the price point where they wanted it. But if they had like a Fire Stick equivalent for just cloud gaming, I probably would do that for downstairs. But
I can get the app on my TV.
I can't get it on mine. I have thought about doing, if I was going to, I don't think I get an X. I probably should because I got a nice TV downstairs for it.
Yeah.
But if I was
That's
going to
it,
play
man.
something,
I got that 65-inch screen downstairs, and
I know.
I love playing games on it. But
I just can't justify it.
yeah, I know. Me neither. I got the PS5.
Well, and the Ally does a really good upscaling, and
Oh,
so I can hook that thing up, and it can push internally right now. It can do, the screen supports 120, so I could probably get some good performance out of that guy if I hooked it up downstairs. But yeah, man, I feel bad. I do feel bad. But there's some really fascinating stuff in here that
Yeah,
you
you would hate for this to happen at your company.
Yeah,
because it don't look great.
it doesn't look great at all. Fucking wild. I can't get over it. Like, I mean, I honestly, like, I was reading through it yesterday and my mind was just like, because I've been at a company when, I mean, I worked for Apple when the iPhone 4 got leaked.
Yeah.
And like Engadget never has gotten an invite to anything ever again because they ran the story. And I just have to wonder, like, I don't think anybody is as petty as Apple, but I think that that was a massive leak, like, because people were putting that under a microscope and like it was very weird. This here is like, it's basically like they leaked their sex tape. Like, it's fucking crazy.
But so they did it to themselves.
They did it. Yeah, they wanted the likes. Johnny, is there any other news stories that we should cover here tonight? Anything that we haven't discussed?
I don't think so.
Let me do one more pass over something.
Yeah, let's. There's been lots of layoffs.
Yeah, there was
from the Embracer Group studios, like Criterion, I think, had layoffs.
We talked about those a few weeks ago. This is a big one: the FTC settlement for Fortnite.
Oh yeah.
Players can now get a pretty big refund. There was a big historic settlement, a biggie. If I don't know all the specifics on it, but who's eligible if you were charged in-game currency for items you didn't want between January of 2017 and September of 2022. Your child made charges to your credit card without your knowledge between January 17 and November 18. Your account was locked between January 2017 and September of 2022 after you complained to your credit card company about wrongful charges. So it sounds like if you were a parent that had some kids get some V-Bucks, you might get some money back.
Dude, I'm such a sucker. I do the whatever the monthly thing is.
Yeah.
But you'd never asked for V-Bucks because I do that. So
yeah, it's
I think it's a fair trade.
Fair trade-off.
There's a story here. Where'd it go? The guy from the people that made the Dead Space Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
The head of that studio is leaving.
Did you see the game that we tried playing earlier this year, Wild Hearts? They're basically shutting it down. They're not going to do any more updates to it.
Oh no, no shit.
Yep.
Did that game not do okay?
No, it underperformed. And then the other thing that I saw an announcement for today, the Evil Dead game is ceasing further expansions. They've scrapped their Switch port. They said that they're going to keep the lights on and they'll address any big breaks in it, but it sounds like that game didn't have the legs that. Yeah. And then the other one was Atlas Fallen. That studio laid off a large portion of the staff.
Yeah, and that what was the name of that? It was like a fantasy FPS.
Is that the one that just came out from EA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it not doing good?
No, it, like
Oh, really?
it had like 700 concurrent players on Steam.
Did you see the shit about Diablo 4 in South Korea?
Mm.
So you know that South Korea is like huge when it comes to supporting Blizzard, like on an esport level.
Yeah,
Like they've got like stadiums built for it. They threw
yeah.
an they
Fucking
threw a
StarCraft is gigantic over there.
they threw a massive event for Diablo 4, and it was crickets there, dude. They
Really?
cut the live stream off because one of the esport guys that was there made a comment about like how there was nobody there while live, and they shut it off.
Oh my god! Oh, that's so embarrassing.
And I think that it's now fallen. What was the there was a God, what's it based off of? Jesus Christ. There's a Dota card game, or it was based on Dota. They shut it down, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That has more viewers on Twitch than Diablo 4.
Oh my god.
It's
Ooh.
it is the biggest fall from
Dude.
grace for a series I think I've seen. Like
It's
people
crazy.
like it's crazy how little people are watching and playing that. It's like almost like Marvel's Avengers.
I stopped having fun, man.
Oh yeah.
It
That
got
like
to be too much of a grind. It was not.
yep. Not a good time.
I don't know. It's like it's hard to put my finger on, but I just was like, man, I don't want to play this. This is kind of a drag.
Yep. All right, man. I got Secret credits. We're gonna wrap this thing up.
Alrighty.
We've had a lot of fun stuff this week. We've had 2 episodes of the show that you've been able to watch live. Episode 343 and 344. We also had a quick look go up for damn. We had a quick look go up for you want those games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them. And then we have one for Starfield going up back when we enjoyed it more. And we also have a new stream going up on Friday for Casual Fridays. We're going to be checking out Payday 3. So tune in on Friday night to hang out with me, Johnny, and a friend of the show, Jason, as we go into some heist. Johnny, we made it work. Not even an actual casual hour tonight.
Ooh,
but that should make up
3/4 of an hour.
Well, you know, when you've had a few weeks of Jiggy and Chase, they are long episodes. So we thought everybody could use a little break tonight. We'll be back live with this show in a few weeks. We'll be back live together Friday night, and we'll talk to you all then. Take care.